Hey guys, how are ya? Dan the Vlogging Man here, and yes, I know it's been a long time since I made a vlog video, or vlog. I don't know why I just said vlog video. That's like just, whatever. I'll just keep rolling with it. I'll just roll with it, man. So, back to what I was saying. It's been a long time since I've done one of these vlogs for you guys. The last one I made was just right before spring break, I believe, before I went on my vision trip to Alamosa, Colorado, and that's mainly what I'm going to be talking about here in this video. So, hope you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy. A little jump cut there. Yes, as you notice, I'm now in a different part of my room, and yes, I know some of you are probably thinking right now, well, Dan, why aren't you sitting in, hold on, let me get to it, this here chair, like you usually are? Well, I thought I'd mix things up a bit and make this less of a lazy vlog, as some of those vlogs may have seemed, but hey, they're vlogs still nevertheless. And I thought I'd make it more of a vlog like such vloggers as David DeFranco do, and I feel like I may carry on this style from here on out. Also, as some of you may have noticed in my opening clip, yes, this is a brand new shirt here, and I'm going to share some details with you about it right now. So as you can see, this is a pretty awesome looking shirt, and this shirt, in case you're wondering, is from an awesome brand called Your True Nature. I will link them in the description down below so you guys can learn more about them. So as you can see, this is a shirt in there that they have in a line of products they have called Advice from Nature, and this particular one is Advice from a Hawk. So as you can see, it also says Advice from a Hawk up there. We have an awesome looking hawk with its wings, with its wing spread right there. Also another hawk over there. And then down here it has the pieces of advice. On this particular shirt it says, soar to new heights, be a keen observer, swoop down at opportunities, rise above it all, spread your wings, find a field that suits you, and the sky's the limits. Oh yeah. So as you can see, I think this is a pretty badass shirt. And again, if you want to get this particular shirt for yourself, or any one of the other awesome Your True Nature shirts, I'll be sure to link them right below so you can check them out. Alright, now let's get on with the vlog. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm now in my bedroom, as evidenced by my previous clip. But first things first, I'm also gonna I should have told you guys this in the previous clip. Well, I did before in another take, but that file got corrupted at the end because, if you couldn't tell, I had to be plugged in here because unfortunately my camcorder battery died from me not using it so long. Yeah, that sucked. But as you can see here, I also got this particular sweatshirt from that same company I mentioned before. This particular one is Advice from a Mountain, and as you can see, it's printed on a nice white sweatshirt, otherwise known as sand, as they call it by that color. So as you can see here, this particular one says Advice from a Mountain, and right there it just has some snow-covered mountain right there. And below it, of course, here is the advice. As you can see, the piece of advice it gives on this one, while some of them are a little bit similar to the ones on this particular hawk shirt that I found before, or that I had bought before, I should say. So the pieces of advice that this shirt gives are: reach for new heights, rise above it all, there's beauty as far as the eye can see, be uplifting, patience, 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 get to the point, and enjoy the view. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just growing to love this company already, just like I have been for a while with another favorite clothing company of mine called The Mountain. And you obviously very well know about my love for them because of the shirts I've worn in my vlogs here on this channel, like that Bark in the Moon wolf shirt, that Eagle Talon Flag Eagle shirt, and some other shirts. So, yeah. Alright, so now up to the main purpose of the vlog. Oh shoot, actually hold on, I'm gonna have to plug into a different spot. My cord is unfortunately not long enough. Be right back. And I'm back. Yes, I know, another change in scenery. Fortunately, I couldn't find a better outlet in my room, so I decided just why not move out here again. Shush, Outlook. Sorry about that. My Outlook is just beeping at me because our internet is crappy here and it keeps telling me there's some issues wrong, but that's besides the point. Oh, shush. You know what? I'm just gonna mute you. There you go. Alright, so now back to the vlog. Enough jabbering on. So, as I mentioned before, the main purpose of this vlog, or the main reason why I'm making this vlog, is to tell you guys about my recent experience I had on my vision trip down in Alamosa, Colorado. So, how about I'm gonna get started with that now. So basically, first and foremost, all in all, I'm gonna say my experience down there was amazing. Just as awesome as my last vision trip, if not better. So, yeah. So, I'm just gonna start off at the very beginning of this trip and just talk about some of the fun parts, like the road trip and stuff. So, all in all, I thought the road trip was pretty damn awesome. So, yeah. So basically, obviously, it's a pretty long trip since obviously going from here all the way down to Colorado. But obviously, so the trip wasn't as bad. We obviously divided it into the course of 2 days going there and then 2 days coming back. But first, I'm going to obviously start off with talking about the 2 days getting to Colorado. So, in terms of our first day of driving, obviously we went down, came out from Minnesota and down into Iowa, of course, since Iowa's right below Minnesota. Duh. So, we drove through Iowa, and most of our first day of our journey was spent there in Iowa, and then, well, at least in terms of driving. And then, after a while, we then headed westward into the state directly west from Iowa, Nebraska. And I would have to say, well, that part of the drive wasn't nearly as bad as Iowa. Well, especially like right as we got into the Omaha area, which, well, basically is the only major area of Nebraska. And other than that, just like Iowa and much of southern Minnesota, is just farm fields and stuff. So, yeah. That part of the trip was really fun though, because I believe, what was it? I believe it was like right when we got into Omaha, we stopped at the Krispy Kreme shop there because, as most of you may or may not know, Krispy Kreme for some reason decided to close down all its stores here in the upper Midwest area. So that includes states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, and I think even Illinois too. So yeah. So because of that, we decided to stop at that Krispy Kreme's because it's been a while since we've actually been inside one of those stores. So yeah. And needless to say, that was an amazing time because we just all had so much fun just freaking geeking out about like all the awesome donuts and everything. So yeah, it was a pretty good time. In case you're wondering, I myself got a chocolate glazed donut. In the words of one of my other favorite YouTubers, I would say it was bangin'. Yeah. Then along with that, I know, as most of you may know, any donut is not complete unless you have either milk or coffee with it. So I decided to go with a milk. So yeah, chocolate milk to be exact. Wait, did I get chocolate milk? Yeah, I did get chocolate milk. That's right. Alright, I better watch my time here. I have 9 minutes left in this SD card. Well, I'll need to clear some of that stuff off so then I can record more of talking about my experience. Alright, back to the video. Alright, so then after that, we obviously continued on our journey for a few more hours until we ultimately ended up in our final stop of the night, which was Grand Island, Nebraska, which was a small area called Grand Island. And that's where we stayed for the night, and I think we got in there around, what was it, like, I think it was like sometime between 10:30 and 11. So yeah, I got there a little later than what we expected, but hey, that's life, that's life, and like obviously we had to go with the flow, and we obviously did. So once we eventually got to the place we were staying at for the night, we obviously then dropped off our stuff. Can't talk right now. And then after that, we went out for dinner at a place nearby. And unfortunately, since it was so late, there weren't too many places that were open. So the place we ultimately decided to go to is one of my favorite fast food restaurants, Sonic, which every time I say that name, I just can't help but think of Sonic the Hedgehog, but that's besides the point. So yeah, in terms of that experience, that dinner was pretty good. It's fast food, so what do you expect? But hey, Sonic's pretty good fast food at that. So yeah. Alright, so then after that, we went to sleep for the night, and then woke up the next morning, and honestly continued our journey. And that day, that day was an exciting day because we got into awesome, colorful Colorado. Yeah, buddy. So, speaking of colorful Colorado, I'm gonna share with you guys a picture of their epic welcome sign right now. Yep, so as you can see, their welcome sign did not lie. They are indeed known as Colorful Colorado. And yes, I know, I just realized I just jumped over to another spot. Sorry if you guys are getting annoyed with all these little jump cuts and me switching spots and stuff, but hey, I just gotta find the optimal lighting in here, because I only have like so many windows. So yeah, that's besides the point. Hopefully this spot will be good. Alright, back to the video. So as mentioned in that previous clip, obviously that next day was the more exciting part of the drive because of the fact that we got into Colorado and everything. And that was especially exciting for me because I was doing the driving for some of that time when we were getting into Colorado. So when I was driving and we're getting closer to Colorado, I told one of my fellow participants, like, oh, get my camera, I want someone to get a picture of the Colorado welcome sign, because me being the collector of license plates and stuff, I also love road signs and everything, so I really wanted someone to get a picture of that sign, and lo and behold, as you saw in that previous clip, they did. So yeah, buddy. Alright, so back to our drive. Like, obviously our first bit of time in Colorado for driving was a little bit boring because basically the northeastern part of Colorado is just an extension of Nebraska, so it was just like still a vast giant stretch of nothing, aka farmland. So yeah, but then like once we got past all that stuff, it got a little more exciting as we got into the Denver area, because obviously that's when we got to see all the mountains, and that's when we all started obsessing over how beautiful the mountains are. Well, myself included too. So yeah. Alright, so then everything was going well. We were all obsessing over the mountains and within the Denver area and stuff. All was well. We were just enjoying life. But then, all of a sudden, something that we didn't expect to happen later in that part of the drive happened. So we were like all just going along, just again, as I said before, enjoying life and stuff, until all of a sudden, we didn't realize this at first, but later in the trip, we realized we went on a highway that we weren't supposed to. So yeah, it kind of sucked, needless to say, but hey, me and some of my other people I was with made the most out of it, because hey, like, the great thing about that was we still got to have a dinner that night, and the even more awesome thing is that we noticed these people there, and they noticed us, and we told them like, oh, like like, oh, we weren't supposed to come out this far to Gunnison, which is where we ended up in, and because of that, they thanked us because of our troubles. They gave us, or so generously gave us, a $50 Subway gift card. So cool. That was awesome. That was really nice of them, and that right there is proof that there are still nice people out there in this world. So don't let people tell you that there aren't any nice people left in this world, because they are lying to you. Yeah, so we like thank them for their generosity and stuff, and then they talked to us for a little while, telling us why they were down here, and apparently it's because they're down here with their son, and they're doing a college search in the area, because right nearby in the area we're in, there was a little state college. So good stuff. Alright, so basically that night we had a Subway dinner that couldn't be beat. I myself had the turkey Italiano melt, which I thought was good for what it was. I won't say it was amazing like the commercials made it out to be, but it was good. So yeah. Ooh, actually, I'll be right back, you guys. My camera memory is running low, so I've got to switch out my SD card. Be right back. Okay, after clearing out all that storage and doing a bunch of that other stuff, I am now back. Finally. And yes, I know what you may be thinking to yourselves. Well, wow, another shirt change and another jump cut. Come on, man. Well, I must be out of my mind. Okay, maybe not, but okay, let's just get on to it. Okay, so to spare yourselves for not having to sit here for a very long time, I'm gonna just quit jabbering on about like some of the other little things that I was before, and then now go on to the most important part of this trip, what I actually did. So basically what I'm gonna do now is just talk about each of the things that we did at this place in Alamosa, instead of like talking about every day, because we were doing the same things like practically almost every day. So let's get to it. Alright, so first off, I'm going to start with talking about the place as a whole that we did this service for, which is called La Puente. It's a homeless shelter, as I said before, obviously in Alamosa. If you didn't catch that, just want to clarify. So yeah. So for those of you who don't speak Spanish, La Puente translates to bridge in English, and basically the main mission of this homeless shelter, La Puente, is to be a bridge for people that just got into homelessness and are trying to get back to a regular life. So that's basically our main mission. And now I'm going to talk about more of the history of the area it's located in. So if you're looking over here, if you see me looking over here, that's because I have some notes up here on my laptop about this, because I don't have this all quite memorized yet. So yeah. So basically, the area that this homeless shelter La Puente is in, Alamosa, is located at 75,000 feet in the center of the San Luis Valley, which is the world's largest alpine valley. And the valley, as the locals like to call it, is larger than the state of Connecticut, and it's home to 35 communities within the boundaries of the following counties of southern Colorado: Alamosa, Conejos, Costilla, Mineral, Rio Grande, and Saguache counties. So it's home to it's home to 6 counties in that area, and most, if not almost all, the counties in that area have a bunch of residents that are living in poverty or homelessness, which is the case of many people who live in Alamosa. So yeah. So there's your little history there about that. Now I'm going to get into the programs that this homeless shelter does. So one of the first places we did service for, the shelter, what we did there was cook and serve meals, lunch or dinner, to the people staying there at the shelter. And some facts about this shelter: in Alamosa County, the estimated average wage, God, I can't talk. for someone renting an apartment or wherever is $8.23 an hour, and that is like just not enough to in order to like live a sustainable life. So I'm gonna go on now, and the event says in order to afford the fair market rent for a 2-bedroom apartment at this wage, a renter must work 1.5 full-time jobs. 1.5 full-time jobs in order to make the appropriate amount of money needed to pay for rent for their apartment. And then it goes on to say, in addition to being physically demanding, this amount of work is almost impossible to find due to the local unemployment rate of more than 10% in the San Luis Valley. And given that about 18% of people in the valley live in poverty, and less than 1 in every 4 residents in that area have medical insurance, a significant proportion of the San Luis Valley population lives at high risk for homelessness. So that's why the shelter of La Puente Home exists, to have people who that live in homelessness, or to give people, I should say, who live in homelessness a safe place to live and get their meals and all that stuff. So that's one of the first things we did service for. And the next place we did service for there was the Food Bank Network. And mainly what we did there, I'm not going to go into all the details of the Food Bank Network because most of you probably know what food banks are, but what we did there were sorting sweet potatoes. So basically what we had to do was look through this giant box of sweet potatoes that they recently got shipped in, and we had to determine whether they were good or bad. And if they were bad, then we had to throw them into this one container, then throw it into a dumpster. But if they were good, we would just put them into these little bags to be stocked in the shelves of the food banks. So that's that. Another service of theirs that we did work for was the children's program they had called PALS, and that stands for Positive Activities Lead to Success. So it actually is an acronym, which I think is pretty awesome. So basically what PALS is, like just think of Boys and Girls Club and what they do. It's like an after school program for children whose parents can't be around too much to give them the success that they need to succeed in school. Think of that, but this is for children and families who've been in families who've gone through rough histories, such as child abuse, sexual abuse, all that stuff. So it's like Boys and Girls Club, but for those kinds of families. So yeah, that's basically a brief synopsis of that. And then another place of theirs that we did service for is their community garden, which they call Veggie. No, it's not spelled V-E-G-G-I-E like you'd think, but it's another acronym spelled V-E-G-I, and that stands for Valley Educational Gardens Initiative. And basically what they do there, like their main mission is to teach kids and adults about healthy eating habits, I should say, with obviously giving an education about eating fruits, vegetables, and other things that can grow around here, and having those healthier options instead of going out to a fast food place where for the most part all you're getting is unhealthy options, or even right from grocery stores too, which in Alamosa they really don't have too many of. And because of that, that area as a whole is something known as a food desert, which means there's not too many sources of healthy food around there besides like a few, like just a select few grocery stores and little convenience stores, which is where most residents of that area get their food. So because of that initiative, this will help those kids and adults to be educated about more healthier food options in fruits and vegetables and many other things. So basically what we did there for them is pulling out weeds in one part of this garden that they have, and I think like some other people that went there another day did some planting and things. I wasn't part of that though. I just did weeding with some people this one day. So yeah, it was cool. Yeah. Alright, so then probably one more of their multiple services that I want to talk about is a little, wait, actually that's not the right thing. Oh, I don't directly have it on here, but basically it was it's a thrift store right in their immediate area that they work with called Rainbow's End. This, along with all the other stuff, I'm gonna link in the description below for more information if you want to check them out. So basically this thrift store, which I said before, is called Rainbow's End. They work, that's another place that works directly with La Puente to provide, used items for very cheap, just like any other thrift store would, like a Goodwill or any other local or chain-based or chain thrift store. So that's basically the idea of that. And like when we had our day to look at that place, like what we just were able to do was look around at all the various things they have, and we also got a talk from, I believe it was one of the workers and possibly owner of the place too. So that was pretty cool. So all in all, I would have to say this experience in Alamosa was probably almost life-changing for me, because like whilst we were there, obviously like one of the things that we were trying to live out in our everyday life when it came like outside service and everything was simplicity. So obviously like having to live a little bit simpler of a life, and doing things like showering less, not using our cell phones unless we absolutely had to. Well, for those of us who brought them, which I did. So it was just interesting, like living a simpler lifestyle, and that just again really just made me take for granted all the things. What I meant to say was, which really made me just think about all the things I have in my life, and just be very thankful for them, and not take any of this stuff for granted. That's what I meant to say. Sorry about that. So yeah, all in all, I would have to say great experience, and I may even contemplate doing yet another vision trip for my final or senior year here at St. Thomas, because I have just been loving the experience ever since I did that first vision trip of mine to New Mexico my sophomore year. So yeah, good stuff. Alright, so I think that's all I had to say in this about this stuff. Obviously, as I said before, this was the only thing I was going to talk about in this year vlog, because obviously it was a lot of stuff. So yeah. But wait, actually before I close out the video, I'm also going to do all my usual things. As usual, if you like this video, be sure to hit it with the thumbs up button or like button. I would greatly appreciate that. But if you didn't, dislike is okay too. Just as long as you're honest about it, and just don't like impulsively hit the dislike button. Also, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. I believe I'm about to hit only 50 subscribers, I think, and yeah, that's like quite a low number for me, considering the length of time this channel's been around, which has been my freshman year here at St. Thomas, which was the fall of 2012. So yeah, needless to say, I'd love more subscribers. Sadly, that's hard to come by nowadays, because YouTube is just so saturated, and it's just so hard for smaller channels like me to get off the ground and get to the success that other YouTubers have had for a long time for having a channel. So yeah. Also, be sure to comment below if you have like any interesting thoughts to say to me, about La Puente or just whatever. So feel free to do that. Also, last but not least, I mentioned this in my other videos. If you're interested in following me on Twitter, I'm at Wild and Preds Fan. I will link that in the description down below. And then also, last but not least, I'm also going to link down below links to La Puente Homes website, so you can check out more information about them and everything. And then also, I'm going to upload all the pictures, or some of the pictures, or maybe all of them to my Dropbox account, and then I'll share them with you guys that way. Or actually, you know what? I'll upload them to Flickr. That'll be an easier way for me to share them. So I'll just upload them all to there, and also link that down there in the description below. Alright, so now for real, I think that's all I had to say in this long-winded vlog, so I'm now going to let you guys go. Peace.